Fucking hell. Just woke up like 20 minutes ago. Got a little cereal. Cheerios with cinnamon and some whey protein mixed in. I can't believe that I stayed awake late. I'm on the East Coast now, guys. You know, I'm not in Central Time anymore. I was up till 1 a.m. for one of the most frustrating fights I've seen in my life. Here's the thing, you know. Again, spoilers, right? If you aren't aware yet, UFC 319. Honestly, pretty good event. The two fights prior to the main event, spinning elbow KOs. What? That was badass. So I need to see the aftermath to that first one, because that cut the hell out of what's his face. Forget the poor guy's name now, but holy shit. When I saw the slow motion, I could literally see the gash form as soon as the elbow freaking glided past the temple. I was like, oh my god. That guy's better get like 30 freaking stitches. Wild last second knockout. Anyway, main event though, man. I mean, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? You know, I'm looking at everybody as, you know, I was pretty excited for this fight. I thought it was gonna be a banger, honestly. I think most people did. And then the people who were very pro Chimaev, you know, they were pretty much all predicting first round knockout, first round submission, yada yada yada. Now, what Chimaev did to Dricus was super impressive, right? Friggin' took him down quick, stayed on his back, we're in the crucifix position, and just maintained these dominant positions. However, did practically no damage to Dricus in those positions. I mean, I'm talking about, let me put my frickin' cereal down for a second. Like in the crucifix position, you know, Dricus is doing well defending himself. Hiding his freaking head so he doesn't get elbowed to oblivion like freaking, like Gary Goodrich and that one guy from like the early UFCs. So all Chimaev was able to do, instead of maybe changing positions, opening up a bit, taking some chances, trying to finish the fight, he just stays where he's comfortable, where he knows he's not going to get hit, where he knows he's technically winning on points, and he just throws like these punches. Just little fucking jack-off punches. These little fucking arm punches. You know, where the pretty much only damage he was doing was from the, you know, leather and rubber of the glove, causing abrasions against Dricus' temple, you know what I mean? I mean, even when he, you know, had his back and he was kind of standing bent over him, and Dricus was kind of like on all fours, the only quote-unquote effective strikes he was throwing was knees to the ass, knees to the upper thigh, back of the thigh, a couple of knees to the ribs, but like you could tell they weren't doing anything to Dricus. The guy's, you know, a damn gorilla. I mean, pretty much the only parts of that fight that were exciting was when they were on the feet and you weren't sure what was going to happen, you know. Maybe some punches are going to be thrown. Nope. It was pretty clear what was going to happen after like the second round. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get his back taken, and it's going to be a snooze fest from there, you know. And in the last minute, the very last minute of the very last round, you know, at this point the ref is standing them up because fuck all is happening. Of course, Joe Rogan's jiu-jitsu brained ass is like, they shouldn't be doing this. He's in a dominant position, guys. And they're gonna stand him up. Well, is the position dominant if you're not doing anything with it, you know? At the end of the day, fighting is entertainment, right? That was one of the least entertaining fights I've seen in my fucking life, especially with so like much high expectations coming in that everyone seemed to have. Last minute, best part of the fight when they stood him up, and then Dracus actually landed. I think it was a right straight that looked like it for a fraction of a second stumbled Chimaev, but of course he just goes for the takedown again. But then Dracus finally kind of defends well. Then he gets on his back, but then he's not able to really do anything because Chimaev is just kind of turtling up, and they're just kind of laying there for, you know, 20 seconds or whatever. Dracus also had some guillotine attempts. I think that must have been his game plan. He must have a really good guillotine choke, and he probably, you know, practiced, okay, the guy's gonna take me down, I'm gonna catch him in the fucking guillotine, that's how we're gonna do it. You know, I get taken down, but I'm gonna submit him from my guard or whatever. But it didn't fucking happen. You know what I mean? Didn't fucking happen. He probably went for like, what, 4 guillotines? Didn't fucking happen at all. Chimaev popped out of those real quick. So, really fucking boring fight. You know? I think clearly that was Chimaev's game plan. I don't think he was... It was just a weird matchup because it seemed like Chimaev was not confident enough to open up, you know what I mean, play a more dynamic ground game. Because he's like, Dracus is fucking strong. I don't want to strike with him. And then the opposite was kind of true with Dracus' game plan. He was like, I'm just going to try to submit him when he takes me down. You know, defend the best I can, but I'm probably going to get taken down. I'm just going to submit him from there. That didn't fucking happen. You know, he's on his feet. He's like, okay, now I can knock him out. That didn't fucking happen. That was shut down too. So just the clash of game plans, you know, just ended up being fucking boring and frustrating. You know, because basically Chimaev just prevented Dracus from fighting. He made it so he couldn't fight. Which again, that is very impressive, but not at all entertaining, guys. Very fucking boring. But as a dude that's been into martial arts for a long time, you know, I dedicated about a decade of my life to training martial arts. I gotta say, in the grand scheme of things, you know, on the streets or whatever, you know, if there weren't any rules, you get somebody's back like that, it's over. You know, it's illegal to do, but you know, I'm saying, if these guys are fighting for real, you get somebody's back like that, it's game over. You can start hitting the back of the head, and they're dead basically. So I gotta say, in terms of who's a better martial artist, absolutely Chimaev. You know, would have killed Dracus a dozen times. You know, so you got to give it to him. But again, we're not fighting in the quote unquote streets, right? We're we're prize fighting. We're doing MMA, and we're entertaining people, and they failed to do that. really, really fucking boring fights. So that's my take. Anyway, I'm gonna eat my fucking cereal before it gets too soggy. Y'all take care. Peace out.